Okay, guys, that was like a whole adventure in terms of, yeah, I'm streaming. In terms of getting my streaming started, I have this little issue with my computer right now where the window doesn't open enough. And then the dentist called and it was like a whole thing. So I set up the stream and I was like, okay, I'm gonna be on time today. And then 1 minute, 2 minutes late. So sorry for being late. And yes, it was like a last minute, of course, again, kind of thing. And I apologize for stopping last week. And like on Friday, I actually had food poisoning Friday, Saturday. I was just the sickest you could ever be. Like, I don't think I've ever been that sick in my life. And then just slept all day Sunday. And I was going to take Monday off from work, but we were onboarding a new person on the team for the company that I co-own and I couldn't because he's one of my direct reports, so I had to teach him what to do. And so then I ended up in urgent care by Wednesday night because I was completely dehydrated from the food poisoning, and they were gonna almost rush me to the hospital. And the funny thing is, I don't know if you guys have seen the Pit. I love The Pit. But, the doctor was like, "I think you have this blah, blah, blah disease, and if this happens or that happens, then, you're gonna have to go to the emergency room." And I was like, "Wait, I saw that on season 1 of The Pit." He did not find it amusing. He was like, "No, like, this is serious. It's like kidney failure and all that." Clearly, I do not have kidney failure because I'm sitting right here. But yeah, it's been a week and it's gonna get better because I have, an additional person on my team. I've got one more coming on next week. And then as that happens, there'll be less on my shoulders, giving me more time in general, which makes me super happy. And this week, nice to see you here in NBR. I wanted to kind of go over some like a little thing that I read to show you guys as an example about the thing that I'm going to do for the sprint. So it all sort of ties together. But I'll wait until I make sure that there's a couple more people here so that I'm not just talking to poor NBR and nobody else. Um, I haven't been working on my book, which really infuriates me because I've been super tired and working a lot. Yesterday, I had like 6 hours of meetings. I don't like that. And then I was just rescheduling with the dentist, and then I called back and myself back on the schedule, and then a meeting got rescheduled again, and I had to go and call them again, like at 3:59, and be like, "Can't be there Monday." That meeting got moved to that same time. So yeah, I'm driving everybody crazy this week. So NBR, how was your week? How's the writing going? How are you guys doing? Everything should be working okay here. Yes, I'm so glad I'm better too. My husband was a little scared for a minute there. And if you've seen the pit, then you know that Whitaker is the one that the character that diagnoses the guy. And I was like, hey, if I'm not breathing in the middle of the night, we're gonna have to have code word Whitaker, and you're gonna have to just take me to the hospital. So my husband didn't find that funny either. I was pretty confident I did not have a kidney failure disease, but the doctor was pretty concerned. So, yeah, I just was working too much and drinking too little water, which is pretty much story of my life. So there, if the doctor's watching, he would be very happy with me. And so I also did not put out a video because I was like sick, sick, sick all weekend. There will be a video on Monday. I've got like 5 that I've recorded, so I'm not sure which one I'm gonna put out yet. And then I've got a new like origin video coming for my channel as well because my team edited one for me for a speaker reel, and I was like, oh, if we make these tweaks, we can also use it on the channel. So it's pretty cool. And NPR, I'm so glad that the writing is going well. I've been excited to work on my book because I have some ideas that I wanted to implement in it, and it just was not something that I had time to do. But it's not like I did nothing toward it. I hired a cover designer and she's making the final tweaks to the cover. So I'm super excited. If I happen to hear from her before the end of this live stream, then I will share the cover with you guys as like a sneak peek. But I don't know if I will. Like I literally just gave her my last final tweaks. So I'm not sure what time she's in England. And yeah, I should be able to calculate that time. I think it's 6 hours different. So I think it's like 10 p.m. there. So she may or may not still be working, but I'm really excited. And for those who are always wondering, like, where do I find a cover designer? Sort of like I try it out. I've had a cover designer for a long time for just my fiction, and she retired. So I couldn't use her anymore. Actually, I've had like a couple. I've been in this industry for a long time. So I've had a couple and they've retired over the years. And the cover designer I work with on my company is primarily nonfiction. She doesn't do fiction that much. So I wanted to hire a new fiction cover designer. And I did go initially to Fiverr and pick somebody that had some like really good reviews and had some covers in the style of what I was looking for. And I don't know if I don't know, it was bad. Like it just got worse with each rendition that this guy did. And so I was like, you know what? Let's just call it a day. And I'm walking away. And so I went to where I should have gone in the first place, which was Reedsy, where they're a little bit more vetted. And a lot of these people have worked for actual authors that I have read that and I could go and pick people that have worked on books that are similar to what I'm writing so that I could say, okay, I want it in the vein of so and so's book or this book. And I really liked this cover that you did. Can you do it like that? So, hello, Silver Ollie. Nice to see you. And I'm glad to be here, you guys, this week. So I went to Reedsy and I hired a lady there, and she's done a great job so far. Like I said, it's just final tweaks on the cover, and I'm mainly getting the cover done before I even have like the book even remotely close to finished, because I'm going to New Orleans in a week and a half, and then I'm going to Dallas, and then I'm going to Dubai, and then I'm going to Mexico, and I'm speaking over the next 3 months, September, October, November, in a lot of different places. And I wanted to have something to promote because I didn't have a recent title to promote. So that's why I'm getting that cover done so early. So I'll probably put it up for pre-order significantly earlier than I would usually do with a book, but just so that I have something to give people, like, yeah, I've got it come out. It's just been a busy, busy year, so I haven't had as much out as I normally do. Anyway, all right, let me talk about the thing that I was going to talk about before I did the writing prompt, because I hadn't and I did not load it yet. It was literally, like I said, on the phone with the dentist until 4:02. So everybody that was waiting for the live stream was probably like, "Where the hell is she?" Okay, um, let me let me put this in here, and I'm gonna show you guys what I'm talking about. The prompt this week is about writing with I'm always talking about writing with impact. This one's about what your character notices in the scene. And I just finished this book, Before She Disappeared by Lisa Gardner. And there's a reason Lisa Gardner is one of my very favorite authors. She's just phenomenal. So this one, the character Frankie is a recovering alcoholic, and she's sitting in a bar, and the things that she notices, the five things that she notices, have an impact on her and are written in an impactful way, which is the cool part. Um, I'm going to put my face up above so you guys can see me. Hold on, give me a second to maybe that's not going to show. Oh, there it is. So the things that she notices also have an impact on her, which is kind of cool because with her as a character, the things that she notices are all about her trying not to drink, right? And these things that she talks about in this scene are really, really amazing in the way that Lisa Gardner puts this together. So these are five things that Frankie, the character, notices and the impact that they have on her. So she has the coffee mug, right? Like an anchor. That right there is an impact. It's telling the reader that she's trying really hard to ground herself. And then she thinks to herself, okay, I've got to rattle off five things I can see right now in as much visual details as possible. That is a mindfulness exercise that a lot of you are probably familiar with. And you go through like the smell, the feel, the touch, the smell, the feel, color, all of that different stuff so that you can ground yourself in the moment. And so Frankie does this. The smell of freshly brewed coffee, which is great. The sound of the buzzing overhead lights. And so if you as the reader, you're able to see this, right? And you can see her processing the scene. The feel of the warm mug, the look on Stoney's impassive face. Then this is what makes Lisa Gardner such a damn good author, the taste of regret. So she goes through these five things that she notices, and it's not just the stuff in the room. It's not just the coffee or the things that she's trying to use to ground herself. It is all tied back to this internal issue that she has. That's what I mean about writing with impact. It's brilliant. And if you see this book, I don't know if you'll be able to see it because now my camera is like really tiny, but look at how many things I just highlighted in here that I'm so excited about that I am going to use in future videos. And right now I'm reading Close Your Eyes and Count to 10 by Lisa Unger. And again, I'm highlighting a whole bunch of stuff because I'm like, oh, I've got to share this with everybody. Nice to see you here, Rock Howard and Half a Mo. And yes, it's my happy place too. So, the writing prompt that I wanted you guys to use this week is kind of like that. It's something that I want you to talk about the five things that your character is going to notice, but I want them to be things that have impact. And that's exactly what I mean by having impact. Any questions on that for you guys? Because I want to make sure that what I'm saying is making sense. You know what I mean? And I'm getting the sprint prompt ready. Ooh, there you go. Um, the impact is really all about what the character notices and how it affects them emotionally. And the things that she is noticing in her struggle with her alcoholism ends with this banger at the end of the taste of regret. If you've ever taken a class with Margie Lawson, one of the things that she talks about is always ending with a boom, a bang, something that makes the reader go, wow. Because when the reader goes, wow, at the end of the paragraph, they go to the next paragraph. So let's get to the first prompt, first sprint, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about this and anything else you guys want to talk about with writing. So thanks for joining me, and we'll be back in 15. Hmm, where am I? Do we have is not sure why the music isn't working. Silver Alley. I don't know. I see it playing on my side, so I don't know. It's probably a meme issue. Hmm. Okay, so I forgot to time the thing. It's just, I mean, every week it's like a comedy of errors, right? Forgot to time the 15 minutes, and the echo might be because I think I have like my regular mic on and my other mic on. I don't know. I'd have to look at the settings. Um, but what I can do is check it when we go back the next time because I think when I did something last week, I added thing. Anyway, so yes, half a mo, we have music, but I was an idiot who forgot to do something there. And I will check the settings when we go to the next sprint. So, did anybody try this five things in your current scene that your character notices and what the impact is on your character? So that you can kind of put that in there and make it have a little bit more bang for your buck in that paragraph. In my scene, I just did that. I did three things, so I've got to go back and add two more to the scene where I'm at. And yeah, hum among yourselves, folks. Yes, I know, I know. This is not my like the technical part is not my skill set at all by any stretch of the imagination. So I apologize every week. I know, but it's not as easy as it seems it should be. I was thinking of adding a live on TikTok on Fridays, and then I forgot to set it up today. So maybe next time, next Friday, we can go live as well on TikTok at the same time and see if that gets some more writers in here to do some stuff. Um, Let me know again if you did the five things your character notices, and if you guys have had any challenges or issues with your writing this week, also drop those into the comments. Three things all the time half a mo does. Five's interesting and love the lead into a big hit. Yes, it absolutely is. Five is a lot to put in there. And my three are worked into like one paragraph. And I think I'm going to add the other two into the next paragraph just because I don't want it to be too heavy in that paragraph. It's in the middle of a conversation. So you don't want your narrative to go on too long when you're in the middle of a conversation between two characters because is basically somebody thinking, and people don't stand there and just think for too long because it looks weird, right? So, anyway, and Rox he checks out a fellow student in the registrar's office. He thought she was engaged, but noticed among other things that she wasn't wearing a ring. Yeah, always look at that left hand, right? My husband and I, a lot of times, will watch documentaries and we'll try to figure out if the couple like is still married after something horrible happened or whatever they were going through. But I notice some documentarians will make sure that that left hand is hidden all the way through, so you don't know if the family stayed together or if they broke up and all of that. Right now, we're watching the Yogurt Shop Murders on HBO. And I think that they also just dropped The Serial Killer's Apprentice, which is a book that I talked about a couple weeks ago on the channel in one of the live streams. It's by Catherine Ramsland, who is an amazing writer and an amazing person. And she's also a forensic pathologist who knows like everything. And she wrote this book with another PhD person about a serial killer's apprentice and how that whole dynamic works between like a dominant serial killer and then a submissive serial killer. And she touched on the Ken and Barbie murders, which is that young blonde couple. I don't know if you guys remember that from back in I think it was in the 90s. Um, where they like murdered her sister among other young girls. And I listened to the podcast with Donnie Wahlberg about that. I think it's called Very Scary People. And that's a kind of serial killer apprentice thing where the guy was the main person, but his wife, Carla, went along with it and like drugged her own sister and they killed her and everything else. They're horrible people. And it's a very odd story because the family, I guess, kind of chose to ignore their daughter's involvement with their younger daughter and just kind of welcomed her back into the family. So that must make for some awkward Thanksgivings. I don't know. Half a mo, two prologues, too long until I get the story going. Your instinct is right. That is a long time to go. And also with your characters having not had a chance to really connect with your reader yet, I would definitely consider taking out one of them and really deciding which one is the most impactful. I have a prologue in the book I'm working on now, but I think I'm just going to cut it because I like where this starts with chapter one I'd been having a problem with chapter 1 and with getting chapter 1 to really work the way it wanted to, and then I realized I was starting with the wrong character. So I backed up a little bit more to add, another suspense twist into it and started chapter 1 there. So where I thought the book started, it actually started a little bit earlier, and I'm kind of excited about the little twist that I added in the new chapter 1. That was one that I wrote by hand, just sitting on the couch when I just had some time and then put it back in. Sometimes that jigs my memory and my thinking in a different way than typing. But plus, like you guys can't see it, but my computer. So my V is gone, my C is coming off. My husband ordered me a new keyboard, but like, typing is not fun. And then the bottom of my oops, I hit a button. Plus my the rubber thing on the bottom of my laptop that the thing keeps it steady is coming off, and my it's just falling apart. So yeah, he says, "You're too hard on your keyboards." I'm like, "I probably write 2,000,000 words a year." So it's not that I'm too hard on them, it's that they can't keep up with me. So I write very fast and I don't like get my nails on there. I don't even have any nails right now. It's just I write a lot more than I think he realizes. So, okay, let's do another sprint. And this time, guess what? I got my phone. I can do the timer this time. Like I'm telling you. Um, and I will check and see if I've got my other audio turned on in the sprint part. And we'll come back. And if you guys want me to talk a little bit more about that Lisa Gardner passage, or if you missed that part, I can do that when I come back. So I will see you guys in 15 minutes. Weird. Okay, let's try that. Let's see if that's right. It's been weird today. The audio's been really weird today. Maybe I just need to restart my computer. I am one of those people who like has 750,000 tabs open and never restarts my computer because then I'd have to save everything and break down everything. And, I do it all the time. So this is probably not going to be the best representation of the channel if anybody pops into this as a new person and they're like, what the hell? There's no music, their audio's all messed up. She started 2 minutes late, like the whole thing. I don't know. It's a day. So anyways, yes, half a mo have that moment when it dawns on you that your hero and heroine have spent so long walking into the story and thinking, so much thinking. Hey, that was what I was doing wrong in the beginning too when I first started out. It's got to be action while they're thinking, action, reaction, impact, new action, boom, boom, boom. Because in real life, that's what we're doing. We're doing a lot of things at one time. Even though my husband claims multitasking is not a thing, we are almost all doing some kind of multitasking. I'm talking to you guys in the back of my mind. I'm thinking about my book and, I'm worrying about the audio and all of the other issues that this particular stream is having today. When I came back on, I said that I don't know why the music is cutting in and out. I tried to delete it and re-add it. And I've got this error message on my OBS that says something about dropped frames. So I don't know if maybe that's it. Maybe it's the internet or something. Did have a stormy day here today. So, um, and yes, welcome, Revo Rav Fallon. Nice, or Rafe Fallon. Nice to see you here. And Maria has the five things that her character notices and how it sets the stage for the rest of the book. That's awesome. And yes, what did I say? I don't think I said anything important, honestly. All right, let me go back to this little section here and see if, because any of you who joined me later, let's make it worth your while, right? If you set through all that audio crap. Um, what I really love beyond how Lisa Gardner, who is a brilliant, brilliant writer. I have known her almost her entire career. I used to be in a writing group with her way back when she first started. And she's an amazing person and an amazing writer. And I'm just always overawed by how great she is at what she does. And this book I've taken a million notes out of. Beyond the five things, what is going on here is also the character's conflict, although it's buried a little bit more because this is an alcoholic who's trying not to drink and she's in a bar. So this is that little subtlety that you may not even notice you're doing as you're writing, but I guarantee Lisa, who is brilliant because she does know she's doing this, what is the one thing that this recovering alcoholic does not notice in the entire bar that she's in? She doesn't let her gaze land on any of the alcohol, not on like the beer holes, not on the bottles of Grey Goose or the bottles of whatever is there, not on the glasses waiting to be filled with beer. None of the things that make a bar are the things that this character notices in this moment. She notices the things that ground her back to the sober life that she's struggling to maintain. Like most alcoholics, she is really struggling to kind of stay on the wagon, particularly when she has a job that's in a bar and she's dealing with a lot of really difficult internal issues. And she's also trying to find a missing girl, and there's a lot going on for this poor character. But it's those tiny things that you can do as an author that make all the difference in the world. The reader's not going to sit there and go, "Oh, she didn't notice any of the alcohol." They're never even going to pay attention to that. But you being very strategic and intentional when you start talking about stuff in the book, that makes a huge difference in how the reader perceives the character. What if we rewrote this? And all Frankie noticed in this scene was the alcohol everywhere. You would have a different perception of Frankie the character than you do with her noticing the coffee mug and lights and the look on Stoney's face, and then the regret, because she's filled with regret for the choices that she's made in the past. So that's what makes this so brilliant. And that's what makes writing so hard, right? Like you're like, okay, it's a bar. I'm just going to describe the bar. When I talk about point of view, which I do have a video coming up, I recorded like five, so I'm not sure which one I'm going to edit next. Five videos in general, not just five on point of view, one on point of view. I have a video on point of view coming up, but this is what I'm talking about when you're talking about seeing it through this character's eye and experiences and everything else. Because her way that she notices things, her eye for what she pays attention to is different because she's got, I think, more than a year of sobriety, and she's really working hard on staying sober so that she can accomplish her goal, which is to find this girl who may be already murdered. And that part of it, part that you look at where she notices this and what she pays attention to, is so powerful and pivotal and says a lot about the character. If you rewrote it, like I said, with her noticing just the alcohol or just what's outside or just the other character, it would have a different feel and tone and give us a different impression of Frankie the character than for us to notice that she's really trying hard to ground herself in this moment and focus on the things that keep her where she wants to be, which is sober and working towards finding this missing girl. So that's a lot like that I'm reading into this. The chances of Lisa thinking all that when she wrote this paragraph out of the, I don't know, 100,000 words in this book, pretty slim, probably. But you never know. Lisa may have intentionally done all that when she sat down to write this paragraph and thought, okay, I'm not going to mention any of the alcohol in this bar. It's a hugely powerful thing. And yes, that taste of regret probably has an alcohol aftertaste. It does for Frankie because the things that she did when she was drinking really resulted in the things that she struggles with the most about forgiving herself. And they all tie together. The thing that she struggles to forgive herself about also becomes a very pivotal part of the plot and how she handles events in the plot. And it would have been too easy to write that scene on the nose. Absolutely. Because this is very intentional, like I said, in terms of how Lisa Gardner put it together. And the fact that she keeps away from the booze makes you quite anxious for her too, very engaging. It does. Like every time she walks into this bar, she's working at this bar through the entire book. She purposely takes a job at a bar because she's looking for this girl and she knows that in this neighborhood in Mattapan, Massachusetts, that the people that would have the answers that she wants to get are probably hanging out in this bar. Not that they're bad people, just that like it's a neighborhood bar. And so it's sort of a cheers sort of situation where if she's there, she's going to be able to talk to the people that would probably have a lot of the answers that she needs. So she intentionally takes a job that puts her in huge danger of slipping up and drinking again. And she does that because that's how important the goal is to her. That makes you root for her even more. And it also makes you root for her a lot when you see her struggle with whether to drink or not to drink. Because, of course, in a book, everything goes wrong over and over and over again, right? And that happens for Frankie. Things keep going wrong and wrong and wrong and get worse. And you see her really struggle with that urge to drink, to just quiet that noise in her head and turn it off. And that that characterization is so strong and so well done. So, yeah, I love Lisa Gardner, and I can't wait to order like the next 7 books of hers. Like, I love it. She is, yes, showing the character in her nightmaring. And Silverali got a nice 156 words. Great job. I finished my character noticing the 5 things in this scene. And ended up, I put like a teacup Pomeranian in the scene and ended up like kind of giving him a little bit of character to sort of reflect his owner's lack of character because she's like a terrible person. So I ended up doing that in there. And yes, Miss Poofy Cat, what is that? Miss Poofy Cat, sorry that the sound is very low. It's just been, my sound today has been kind of weird and I'm not quite sure why. Um, and my weekend plans are to edit a video for you guys, so there's actually something out on Monday, and finally finish this first chapter so that I can get it out. And I'm also teaching a class on Saturday, but it's not one that's open to the public. I'm doing it for a Texas writers group. I'm teaching a class about reverse engineering your plot. And then I'm going to start thinking about what I'm doing for BoucherCon. I've got to order some bookmarks and business cards and things like that. And I better hurry up because I've got to be there, like, I think September 5th in New Orleans at BoucherCon. And I'm super excited to go there. So if any of you are there at that, let me know because I would love to see you and maybe do like a live writing Write Better Fiction, Miss Shirley Jump event there. So it's a great conference. I've been to it before when I was in Indiana and I used to live there. And so I'm excited to go talk writer with a bunch of people. It's always my favorite thing. And the cover designer did not finish in this hour, but that's okay. I didn't expect her to. Like I said, it's like 10 o'clock there. Um, and she just has a few final tweaks. And the other video didn't get done either. So and half a mo, I am doing a sprint on Friday, next Friday. I should have no problem doing a sprint next Friday because I just checked my calendar when I was on the break, well, break during the sprint time. But I think the Friday afterward is when I'm in New Orleans at BoucherCon, and I'm not sure where I'll be. This fall, September, October, November, I'm traveling a ton. New Orleans in September, Dallas in October, Dubai and Mexico to speak in November. I'm speaking in both of those countries in November. So that will be a lot sketchier in terms of how many sprints I do and how sporadic I'll be on the channel because, I am flying 22 hours to Dubai. So that will affect things that month, especially. But I should be here. This coming Friday and a couple more Fridays, maybe 2 or 3 Fridays in September, and then I'll let you guys know on the rest because I gotta really look at that schedule and see where I'm going and what I'm doing. So, I love these as much as you guys do. I really look forward to it, and it's like my favorite part of my week, even though I do a lot of other fun things that I really enjoy, but this is my favorite part because I get to sit here and just concentrate on my book and talk about books for a little while. Anyway, that's our hour, and I would have gone longer, but like I said, I've been really sick for a week or so, and I'm kind of just exhausted. So I'm gonna end the stream, and then I'll be back next Friday, and I will have a video on Monday. And if you have any questions, drop them in the comments as always. And apologies for the audio issues. I don't know, above my pay grade. I just need, like I said, I say this all the time. I need a tech support guy sitting like right here. So, oh, awesome, NBR. Thank you so much for ordering that. I appreciate it. I need to do a couple of follow-up books to writing compelling fiction in my spare time. But soon I will have time to dedicate to other things because, like I said, I'm expanding the team that works underneath me. And once they're like rolling, I'll have more time myself. So I'm very excited. So you guys all have a great weekend, and I will see you next.